Joining us on the line from London, Yossi Mekelberg, a senior fellow at Chatham House's Middle East and North Africa program. Hello to you, Yossi. What do you make of Hamas's handling of this exchange we're seeing this Saturday? A very brittle ceasefire. Is Hamas's handling helping towards pushing towards a possible phase 2 agreement?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. The short answer is no. I think the way that Hamas is ending this, it's cruel, it's cynical, and it's grotesque. And I think they are in many ways are detached from what the rest of the world, maybe it shouldn't surprise, consider the last 16 months, detach what the rest of the world see in what they are doing. You know, to reach an agreement, especially between two sworn enemies, you need step by step to build some trust. And obviously there is no trust between the sides, and the mediators compensate for this. But when you see these pictures and then you ask what the Israeli people think, especially what happened on Thursday, that makes many people wanting to see obviously the hostages back, but says Al-Hamas are the kind of people that they can do business with.
Yeah, and then we hear from Donald Trump in an interview with Fox News Radio. He was asked whether he would prefer that Netanyahu completes the second phase of the hostage deal or resume the war. And he replied that he would be okay either way. So what do you think is next?
I mean, sometimes we think that President Trump helps by pushing, especially Netanyahu, to agree at the first stage. Then his intervention makes things much worse. I think at the end of the day, whether it's in the first, continuing the first phase or moving to the second phase, the idea that all the hostages are back, humanitarian aid is entering into Gaza, including the mobile homes and tents, and allowing people to return to the places of origins, and ending the war is important. I think this war is run long time ago its course. It did nothing good, neither for Israelis nor Palestinians. There must things beyond the war. I know it's very difficult now. Emotions are running very high, but that's exactly when leadership is needed to think beyond that.
Yeah, and leadership is needed, maybe transparency as well. Arab leaders met in Saudi Arabia to push back against Trump's Gaza plans, but there was no final communique, press conference, or details, in contrast to standard protocol. Why do you think that was?
Let me just say one of the major issues is that neither the Israelis nor the Palestinians have the leadership they deserve, and the leadership that can take them out of these very dark days. And hence, we really need the region and the international community to have its hands on ending the war. I think there's some, within the Arab Summit, there are disagreements. I think what Donald Trump did by talking about committing a war crime by expelling all the Gazan people to Jordan and Egypt created also level of instability within the region. And I think they're trying to look for, on the one hand, knowing the way that Trump behaves, and he doesn't like to hear no as an answer, is to appease him, but at the same time restore some sanity, which this is not going to happen. This is not in plan. We can normalize war crimes and even the suggestion of that. On the other hand, Gaza needs reconstruction. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict needs a resolution. And I think the only good thing of the way Trump behaves, it focuses the mind. It pushes everyone else to think, if this is and let me say, an insane idea, let's restore some sanity and come with a constructive alternative.
Yeah, and as you're speaking to us, Yosi, we're seeing images make their way through the crowds in Nuseirat, where we're expecting 3 Israeli hostages to be released. We can only speculate that the men are inside some of those vehicles. Yosi, in exchange, Israel expected to release some 600 Palestinian prisoners later this Saturday. Do we have confidence that exchange will move forward? Are we in a sort of wait-and-see mode? What do you think?
Well, the first stage today took place in as orderly manner that we got accustomed to in the last few weeks. I think both sides are interested in seeing this. Today it's the last of returning of hostages that are still alive back to Israel. And both sides will have to recalculate their course right now, and hopefully, and because that was the right thing to do when this offer were on the table back in March and July, having this deal, Israel is paying heavy price for the release of the hostages, releasing hundreds and hundreds of prisoners, some of them that committed terrorist acts. But this is the price, this is the ethos of Israel since it was established, that you don't leave anyone behind, even the price is high. Unfortunately, at this deal was accepted and not rejected by Netanyahu back in March or in July. We'll see more hostages alive, and it was also saved much of the suffering of the Gazan people.
Yosi, thank you very much. Chatham House's Yossi Mekelberg speaking to us
Thank you.
from London. The final swap of Phase 1, a story we'll continue to follow throughout the day here on Paris Direct.